Aaron back here, also known as the TriggerHappy Master Chief. I think it's without the thing. And also Aaron AB, which I don't use profile anymore. Yeah. Okay, make your model as if you normally would. Okay, this is just a collision geometry. Yeah, because I had problems with my model and I had to near the door, so I just opened the door. Okay, you probably won't get told this much, but the models themselves don't have to follow any particular laws or rules. Okay, what makes this process good is there's no limit to what you can do, but it makes sure for each individual moving part you have individual frames, and never forget the main frame. This is called frame. Then you got for a door just to make it. Okay, animating quite simple. Yeah, main thing you have to remember, first frame of the animation is open, last frame of the animation is always closed. It doesn't matter how many frames you got in there. You can have as many keyframes, but the last keyframe and the first keyframe always have to be closed, open and closed. Yeah, damn, I keep losing the plot. Models themselves don't have to follow any particular rules, as I said before, that the collision geometry has to follow the sealed word rule. Don't know why that is. Then again, because some of the times when you make the model, they're full of problems. But yeah, no rules that the animation has to follow. Just as long as you remember the first frame is closed and the last frame is open. And that's about it for the animation. Now, if you have already made a map, don't forget to compile your bitmaps, models, collision geometry, and animation. And when you're saving your animation, make sure you export. Go to the C root directory and go into. Don't forget to set your directory up. Tutorial. This is just for this. Got folder animations, bitmaps, models, physics, and shaders. Shaders you don't really need to have there, just to make it. That's just to remind you. You got to also add the shaders. Export. Change the type to Blitzcrank Animation Exporter. Go into animations. Make sure it's always set to device position.jmo. And do not forget this process. If you ever have any transparent glasses, any glass or anything like that, I'll just quickly run you through the process. You go Tool, Bitmaps, then you go Machines, then you go to Tutorial. Whoops, sorry, my bad, I thought we were doing a model. I forgot to change this when I pressed the arrow up key. Bitmaps, and compile it. Whoops, my bad. Bitmaps, like so. Okay, where did I screw up? Tool, bitmaps, machines, tutorial. My bad. There we go. Okay, now with the glass here, it'll have a problem. I'll just quickly change my bitmap to what it normally would be, just to show you the problem I get. Open machines, tutorial, bitmaps, glass. Okay, now I have this set to compress with color key transparency. Close that, yes. Back to tool, arrow up key, and it will give you this warning right here. Now to change that, go back into Gorilla. I only do that just to show you the error. Open it, open the bitmap, and make sure you go down to compress with color key transparency, change it to 32-bit color. Close that, save it, yep. Tool arrow up key, and it'll say true color with alpha, 56k kilobytes. Yep, that's all good. Minimize that, minimize that. No wait, we still want this. Then we'll go File, New, and I think we'll go Shader, Shader Model for the metal. Okay, for the shader model, we'll just go blah 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 until it looks something like this. Base map, make sure it's the material. Okay, now because I screwed up my other one, I'll go File, New, I'll go Shader. For the transparent glass, you go Shader, Transparent Glass. Now, we just scroll down to, where is it? Damn it. There we go. I think. Okay, diffuse map. Okay, then we go machines, tutorial, bitmaps, glass. Save this, save changes to transparent glass tag, yes. Then I'll go back to machines, tutorial, shaders. Then I'll just call this glass. Save. Doesn't really matter. Now we'll go File, Open. Now make sure when you create the gearbox model, the gearbox model, it has the shaders that you need, and I'll just show you how to do that. Because you compiled everything, if you compile everything properly first time around, it'll already, and then you create the gearbox model, it'll use the shaders you create. But because I did this, I'll just show you how to run through this. You go Geometry, then you go down to Parts, you go back to make sure you've got glass selected. Okay, maybe shaders, sorry, my bad. Okay, glass, make sure you do this. Shader, transparent glass. What I try to do is have it as a geometry with dynamic mirror, and that didn't work. So close this, save changes. Yes. Okay. Now we'll set up the device machine. File, New, device machine. Okay, first thing we'll do, model, yeah. My mouse is all weird. Door, gearbox model. Animation graph comes next. Then we'll go back to machines, tutorial, model animations. And whenever you do the model animations, there are sets. It already sets that up automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. Then go collision model. Then we'll go machines, tutorial, model collision geometry. And basically, when you make all the collision models and all that, animation will move all the nodes around, and everything that's linked to the nodes, markers, whatever you want to call them, and everything that's linked to a marker will move. But if you move the model itself, it won't work very well, because it uses the gearbox model, and anything linked to a marker in the gearbox model can be animated, and with the animations it'll also use the collision geometry. What I don't get is why don't they just use the same model for the collision geometry? But yeah, we won't worry about that for now. Okay, and next we'll go. Okay, now we're going to set up the door and the way it works. Okay, with the flags, make sure position not interpolated is unchecked. Go position transition time, that's in max, 3D Studio Max, how long it's going to take for it to do that to that. And yeah, as I said before, the more time you've got in the animation, the better, because it's smoother it'll look in the game and in Sapien. So we'll set that to, what type of door is it? Yeah, 2.5 seconds. Power acceleration time, that's how much time it's going to take to accelerate. This, I'm still not sure what this does, but yeah, just experiment with it. I'll just set this to 1.5. Okay, and down here, activation radius in world units. Yeah, basically what you want to do with this is find out what type of door it is. Yeah, and make sure when you get close to it to activate it, and then you've got a part that opens up and the collision geometry won't get in the road. So depending on what sort of door it is, with this door it doesn't matter, we'll just make that one world unit. And with door open time, it doesn't really matter what we do with this, because with this frame here, we've also got another frame here, so in the last tutorial, if you remember, we had a problem with the door doing something like that in Sapien. But yeah, because we've got this extra frame back here on both doors, doesn't really matter unless you really want it to stay open for 30 seconds, not 30 seconds, 3 seconds. So I'll just set that to just 1 for experimental uses. And by the way, none of this is guesswork. Thanks to CLXB, this tutorial was possibly made. Okay, so position transition time, just depending on how fast you want it to open, and the acceleration time. That's just how much time it's going to take for it to accelerate up to speed. I'm pretty sure of that. So I'll just change this to, I don't know, 5 seconds. Change this to 2. Now we'll go down to here, make sure everything's okay. Almost forgot this. World units, change this to 10. And in 3D Studio Max, what I forgot to do before was make sure you've got your model selected, like so, and change the Z coordinate to 0. Because if you don't do that, you'll have problems in Sapien. So we'll go back into here, change it to 10 world units, and everything here just leave as default. Same with down here, leave all this as default, and leave everything here but this to default, and might as well change this to 0 because of what I've done in 3D Studio Max. Okay, we've done that. Save it, yep. And it should, but it doesn't. Then we'll go tutorial. Show the version of tutorial, just for this purposes of this tutorial. Now, we will load up Sapien. Or in this case, I'm just using Conman's cracked version of Sapien, which he called Hobo. Just load it. And I'll just cut this out so it doesn't take too long. Okay, now Sapien has loaded. Change the camera speed by pressing shift, and the maximum you have is 60. I'll just move this around. This is the door I made previously. I think I'll just add the new one. So I'll go objects, and